In today's session, we are going to see about various types of drag. Okay. So while explaining about overview of the course itself, I have told we have various types of drag. So not only the primary drags, which you already know, profile drag, skin fusion drag. So we are going to, apart from that, we are going to see some other secondary drags actually. Okay. So in the last lecture also I have told the first chapter was over with three topics: basic forces and moments, and second one is equation of motion, and third one is atmosphere and international atmosphere. So the chapter 2 is drag polar. So we'll be in this lecture we will be studying about what is drag polar and especially how types of drag is playing a major role in the aircraft. Okay. So as a courtesy, uh, I have to tell that the lecture I have taken from Professor E.G. Tulaputra, IIT Madras, so NPTEL course, which we are following for this lecture. So what is mean by drag polar? Okay. So the term drag polar defines that. So it is a relation between drag coefficient and lift coefficient. So you can see over drag coefficient and lift coefficient. So simply, when we are speaking about drag polar, it is just a relationship between the CD and CA. Okay. So just understand like that, because the entire chapter we are going to speak about drag polar only. Okay. So for this basic, we have to understand if we are drawing a graph between CL and CD, right? So this is a graphical representation of drag polar. Graphical representation of drag polar. So there is an equation with respect to CD and CL. Okay, with respect to CD and CL. Okay, so that equation is numerical. I am not writing the equation right now because we will be deriving during our session. Okay, so for just the definition, so drag polar is the relationship between the drag coefficient CD and lift coefficient. Okay, so either it can be given in a graphical form or in a equation form also. Okay, numerical form. So what is the drag polar and why we want to implement in the airplane performance? I hope you can understand that the performance of an airplane is depending upon the drag coefficient, lift coefficient, and Mach number. Okay, so the Mach number, that is the speed, vehicle aircraft speed, right? So depending upon the aircraft speed, the lift coefficient will be also changing, right? And if, depending upon the angle of attack, correspondingly the lift will change. So when there is a change in lift, the drag will also correspondingly change. Okay. So even when we are speaking about drag polar, the drag coefficient, drag forces, that is playing a major role, because depending upon the drag only, uh, the thrust and the lift force is going to begin. If we have more drag, then it is disadvantage for our aircraft. Okay, so that's why the performance of airplane requires the value of drag coefficient of airplane when we know that lift coefficient and Mach number. Okay, right. So it may be the comes to the third point. It may be pointed out that the aerodynamics generally deals with drag, lift, and pitching moment of individual components like wing, fuselage, and etc. So during our forces and movements also I have told. So the entire aerodynamics is given not only with respect to the wing. It is apart from wing, we are able to consider the fuselage, engine nacelle, and tail section also. Okay. So whereas for the estimation of an airplane performance, the knowledge of drag and lift and pitching moment calculation of an entire airplane is required. Okay. So this is a problem also in the first chapter itself. So contribution of airplane drag. So the total drag, right? So total drag force D. Okay, or we can write D total. Okay, so it is given respect to the drag cost due to the wing, drag cost due to the fuselage, drag with respect to horizontal tail, drag with respect to vertical tail, drag with respect to engine nacelle, drag with respect to landing gear, drag with respect to etc. Etc. means like components like suppose if you are having missiles, external fuel tank, external fuel tank, right? Antennas. So for communication aircraft antennas, right? So depending upon the purpose, the external stores or external surfaces that will also provide drag. So we have to measure those drag also. So apart from that, we have to add one more drag, which is called as interference drag. So many of you might not hear about this interference drag. Okay. So I will explain what is interference drag because the next topic is interference drag only. So when we are speaking about the total contribution of the drag of an aircraft, it is not only given with respect to the wing alone. So it is a combination of wing, fuselage, horizontal tail, vertical tail, engine as a landing gear. So landing gear is what when it is deployed and when it is retracted. Okay. So also I have told when we are speaking about landing gear, when we are deploying the landing gear, right? So we need to maintain the speed. Speed has to particular speed has to maintain. Okay. So if let's say if the aircraft can withstand the speed of 100 meter per second, so it is the safe zone for landing gear deployment. Okay. So if we are exceeding this speed limit, let's say if the aircraft is flying at 200 meter per second, and if you are deploying the landing gear may get structural damage. Okay, so in order to avoid that, we have to at the safe zone only. Okay, so there is a limitation. So when landing gear is deployed, the drag will be produced depends upon speed also. So for various speed, the drag produced in the uh, landing gear will be also vary, not only in the landing gear, in all other parts. Okay. So finally, the interference drag. So let's come into the interference drag. What is interference drag, and we will discuss more about the interference drag over here. While presenting on the drag or bring or fusion. Okay. So I will switch my video once so that you can understand what is interference drag. Okay. So I hope you can see my video over here, right? So interference drag is nothing but this is the so when the flow is like this, so if the aircraft is flying, so you just consider for the top so that you can clearly understand. This is the root of our wing, right? So can you able to see the video? I hope you can hear it. Can you box? Can you able to see the video? No, not visible. One second. One second. Wait. I So can you able to see me now? Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. So in the top view, right, you have seen from top view, but consider that the aircraft is flying in the level flight. Okay. So for understanding, I am showing like this. So if the aircraft is like this, and if the flow is like that, right? So here is our route, and here is our tip. Okay. So you know that for each and every section, that is like route is will be having different airfoil, mid-wing will be having different airfoil, and tip will be having different airfoil. Okay. So or we can say it might be having a twist. Okay. So depending upon the aircraft. So what will happen? The area where the fuselage and the wing, the root of the wing is fixed, right? So suppose if the flow is coming like this, right? So flow is coming like this and it is flowing around the fuselage, right? And there will be a flow straight which is going along the wing. So the flow over the fuselage, right? So it will be creating a drag because we are seeing that contribution of drag will be with the fuselage also. So flow over the fuselage will create one drag and flow over the wing, it will be also creating a drag. So when the flow over fuselage, it is already having turbulence here, it might be creating vortex drag, right? So when it is hitting that wing and already the flow is going to hit the wing, so both the flow will be getting interfered. Especially this will be happening in the zone of where root of the wing and tail wing is fixed with the fuselage. Okay, even in the vertical wing. Okay, so this is called as interference drag. I hope you are clear with that, right? So interference drag is interfere of both the flows. Okay, so that is called as interference drag. This is not only about the wing and fuselage, wherever it was. So let's say fuselage is attached with the uh, landing gear. So when the landing gear and flow is getting impacted, right? So that will be also engine aside. So engine will be creating a drag, right? So already there is a induced drag will be generated over here. So both will be getting interfered. So when both the flow gets interfere with each other, then it is said to be the interference drag. Okay. So now let's get back to the slides. So if you see that, you can understand more. Okay. So whereas in airplane, the wing and fuselage tails are present in close proximity of each other, and the flow past one component is influenced by the other. Okay, that's what I try to say. See the wing, sorry, the fuselage, and the tail section, right, are close proximity. Let's even though there is a distance, but for flow field it will be nearly a close. Okay, especially the wing and fuselage combination. So of each other, and the flow past one component is influenced by the other. Okay, so this type of drag is called as interference drag. Okay, so for an example we have given over here. So if you are using a single airfoil with a thickness of D, right, and if with a card of C, right, so there won't be any much difference if you are using a single airfoil toward the wing. But if you are having two different airfoils, if one airfoil is having thickness high thickness and another airfoil is having different, right? So airfoil one and airfoil two, right? So in that case, the wing itself will produce a different type of vortices along the span. Okay, right. So what are the ways to reduce the interference drag? So there was another one image in the frontal view, right? So there is a circular cylinder is there, and there is a plate like structure was kept at the rear end. Okay, so everyone knows how the flow will be around the circle, right? So it will be creating vortices little bit, and it will be like this, right? So if we keep one plate, right? If we keep one plate, the vortices will be avoided and the flow will be deflected, right? The upper flow and the lower flow will be getting deflected, right? So we are changing the flow pattern, right, from one object to another object. When there are object, both the object flows are interfering at after the particular distance. Okay, so that's what they are saying. When two components or two objects, right, the flow around the two objects interfere with each other, then it will be called as interference. So ways to reduce the interference drag by making the fillet formation. So what is the fillet mean by? Suppose the edges, right? So I will draw that also. Suppose I am having a square shape. So the corner is sharp edged. So fillet in the sense you might have studied in your AutoCAD or design. So we'll be making in a curved path. So instead of having a sharp edge, we will be making a curved path, right? So that is called as filleting the corners. Okay. So by filleting the corners, right? So we can make the aircraft to avoid less interference time. Okay, by making fillet. So it does not going to fully resolve from the interference drag, but fillet will provide you better performance than the non-filleting vehicles. Okay, so that's why the shape of the vertical tail, even in the vertical tail, you can see over here in the image, it is done filleting. Okay, so in the video also you can see the vertical tail was filleted. Okay, the same will be where the root of the wing and the root of the and the fuselage is interfering. That will be also done in air fillet. Air fillet will be done. So from the front view also, air fillet will be done in the lower surface where the wing and fuselage is attached. Okay, instead of having a sharp corner, they will be. So as we have spoken, there is a disadvantage by increasing the drag, right? So this entire interference drag, the procedure what I have told is also called as interference effect. Okay, so there are some advantages of interference effect. So that's why I have mentioned it is favorable interference effect. Okay, so what are those advantages? So have you seen birds flying? So the birds will be flying in a V-shaped format. Have you seen? I hope many of you seen that. Suppose the birds will be flying like this in V-shaped format. Okay. So the first bird will be facing much drag, whereas the remaining birds which are following in the V-shaped pattern, it won't face that much drag. Okay. So even though the flow around the bird is going to interfere the next flying bird itself. Okay, but the interference will be going to give advantage for these birds in the manner of reduction of drag. Okay. So they don't need to provide that much thrust to move forward. Okay, so there is an advantage of interference drag is also that most probably this is used in Olympics also. In Olympics, they have used this technique, Winter Olympics especially. So for team pole something, the game was I forgot the name of the sports. So this is the track. Okay, so the track will be having a corner. Cyclists also use that. Yes. What was that question again? How exactly those interference occur? See, when I'm saying that when two flows around one object and another object, it is getting interfered, then interference will be occurring. So you can analyze this interference by keeping two blocks in the water tank or anything, and you just try to understand. Okay, right. So what the runners has did is, so this is a track. So three people have to be in a team. So initially they will be running like this. Separately they will be running. So when the corner comes, when there is a corner path, right? So what the people will do, they will be joining in the behind to behind. Okay, so this is a team event. So while the track was straight, they will be going in the V-shaped pattern. They will be running in the V-shaped pattern. But when it is corner, they will be coming in a straight line. Okay, so they will be running in a straight line. Okay, so by this technique, this is a purely aerodynamic study. which is based on the interference effect. Okay, so aerodynamic study they did, and they have successfully won the gold medal during Olympics, Winter Olympics. Okay, so you can read about this also in Winter Olympics. I forgot the names and other factors, but this is an example of interference effect. So contribution to airplane lift, right? So lift also I have told. L wing will be providing, fuselage will be providing, and horizontal tail will be providing. So apart from that, thrust vectoring, engine thrust vectoring. If you are having thrust vectoring, then that also contributing to the lift. Okay, the same will be applicable if you are having a thrust vector, right? So same will be applicable over here also. Okay, so thrust vectoring will be also going to be very much helpful for pitching moment contribution and lift function. Like let's say vertical takeoff, right? Vertical takeoff. So since the previous aircrafts are not having any vertical takeoff capability, so that's why Padma is not included. But when you are going to calculate for advanced aircraft, then you have to include the uh, advanced like thrust vectoring calculation also in lift and moment pitching. Okay. Right. So correspondingly, the coefficient of drag is given with respect to, everyone knows. I hope you know the formula, right? D divided by half rho V infinity surface area. Okay. For lift also the same will be followed. For moment, we will be multiplying by mean R. Okay. Because for moment, arm distance that's involved. So correspondingly, if you are substituting for total drag, right, to identify the total drag, we have to include drag produced by the wing, drag produced by the fuselage, engine nacelle, horizontal tail, vertical tail, landing gear, and whatever the external components we are using, and drag of interference we have to calculate. Okay. So here they have given with force, here they have given with coefficient of drag. Coefficient of drag. Okay, for the same negativity. So the etc. indicates external fuel tanks, bombs or struts will be having, right? In Cessna and all we will be having struts. So struts will be also included in it. Right. So apart that we need to know basic parameters of wing, right? So root car will be there, right? So dihedral angle, that is one of the important parameter, and swept-back angle, that is one of the important parameter. Root card, mean card, and tip card. Okay, so before entering into the drag polar coefficients, you should know the root card, tip card. I hope you might have studied in your introduction to aircraft as well as in principle of flight. So that's why I'm not explaining that again in order to have the we'll be going with the secondary drag. Okay, so the airfoil at root will be having a twist and airfoil at the, so they have marked in a dotted line. So if I'm having a tip card with the incline, right, the twist angle, so we can make a twist in the wing section. Okay. So I hope you know those factors. So how the fuselage parameters will be measured? So fuselage parameters will be measured with respect to the length from nose to tail and width of the fuselage, height of the fuselage. Okay. So this is streamlined body and this is bluff body. So I hope you understand the streamline and bluff body, right? So the same will follow width and height. Okay. So those are parameters which we need to. So primary drags, parasite drags, form drags, skin friction drag, profile drag, lift induced drag, wave drag. You might have studied and you might have seen this graph also, velocity with drag force. So that's why I'm not able to explain about this right now. I'm just going for the secondary drag. So we are having in the secondary drag, we are having cooling drag, base drag, external stress drag, leakage drag, and trim drag. Okay, so including that interference drag also. Okay, so interference drag I have explained to you guys now. So apart from that, cooling drag, base drag, and external drag, and leakage drag, and trim drag, A, B, C in this picture. So cooling drag, suppose if you are having a piston engine, not only it is applicable in the piston engine, even in our jet engine also, we are using air cooled engine system, right? We'll be using separate part of the section to allow air for cooling the fins and turbine blades, right? So for that time, during the air passage, right, the steam air over the cooling fins and accessories, in order to cool those blades, especially in the turbine, in jet engine we will be using them, right? So in turbines, what will happen? See, the blade is rotating, right? So the blades will be rotating, and just drawing roughly. Okay. So if the sudden air force is, uh, airflow is passed from externally in order to maintain the cool, right? To reduce the temperature in the turbine blade. So there will be a momentum loss will be happening because the angle of turbine blades will be fixed in a such a way that after combustion chamber, the entire force will be hitting that blades and it can rotate the turbine. Okay, so the blades will be rotated and tilted in such that way to be perfect for the linear flow. Okay, suppose if this is a combustion chamber, if the flow is coming like this straight, so that will be rotating the turbine, right? But the air, cooling air we will be passing is with from the different flow field. Okay, either from upside down or left to right. Okay, so depending upon the aircraft. So what will happen? The flow will be getting intersected with the blade, and it will create the loss in momentum. So that will create a loss in momentum of the rotational speed. Okay, so due to that, the drag will be formed because when the momentum is lost, our performance is also going to affect, right? So that type of drag is called as cooling. Okay, I hope you understood that. In cooling fins, we are passing the air, right, in order to cool the fins, especially in the turbine blade. So during that rotational, the loss of momentum will be there, so that it will be resulting in a drag called cooling. Okay. So the second one is base drag. So base drag is nothing but if that body terminates abruptly. Abruptly means without any shape, proper shape. So let's say there is a missile, right? So if the missile is entering with a cylindrical pattern, then it is okay. Suppose if the missile is ending like this, right? So this type of flow will be when the missile is flying or when the aircraft is flying with this type of end part, right? A step cut or not proper dimensionally having this type of structures, right? So this will provide vortex formation, and that is creating a drag called base drag. Okay, so this is not only, see, whatever we are explaining, this is not only for the aircraft, it is application in industrial also, industrial sector. So when you are having industrial aerodynamic subject, you can easily understand the industrial this type of cooling drag and base drag effect also. Okay, right. So apart from that, this type of shapes, right? The what we can say, proper, without proper design, right? If the shape is ending like this, right? So a low pressure will be found at this place because if the flow is keeping like this, and there will be a high pressure in the in the lower region if the angle of attack is there, right? Let's say the wing is having not a proper trailing edge. Okay, so this will create a low pressure region, and that will cause a pressure drag called base drag. Okay, so ending causes flows to separate and a low pressure region. So proper ending has to be there. So that's why our airfoil is having a trailing edge. Okay, so these are the research has been done already and rectified. So when you are designing any of body or objects, show drag. So already we have discussed about this. That is during the drag calculations of bombs, missiles, External fuel can causes additional parasite drag called external torsion. Even antennas, lights, so also calls parasite drag called core turbulence drag. Okay, so this together will be known as external stored drags. Whatever the external components we are placing in the aircraft, so that will be considered as an external stores drag. Okay, so leakage drag. So air leaking into and out of gaps and holes in the airplane surface cause increase in parasite drag called leakage drag. So before there was gap will be there. Let's say this is airfoil and there will be a gap between the control surfaces, that is flaps or ailerons. So there will be a gap will be placed and it will be connected with the hinge. Okay. So this gap will be allowing air to pass either from up to down or down to up. So mostly it will be from down to up because that high pressure will be here, right? So it will be trying to escape from high pressure to low pressure region. So when air is leaking into and out of gaps and holes in the airplane surface, causes increasing parasite drag called leakage drag. Okay, so this type of drags also need to be considered when we are speaking about uh, overall drag contribution about the aircraft. Okay, so the last one is trim drag. So I hope you know what is trim, right? Trimming of an aircraft. So there is no much need of explanation. We have already done a problem related to this lift and tail section, right? Lift at the wing and the tail section also. From that itself, we can understand that LWO, that is overall lift, right, is equal to weight plus LT. So simply we can say LW minus LT equal to when lift is acting downwards, lift at the tail is acting downwards. Okay. So suppose let's consider, kindly see the video once. So if there is a pitch up movement is there, right? So pitch up or pitch down movement, whatever it was. So if it is flying in the steady level, so we will be having an induced drag. So let's say induced drag induced drag 1 to be level flight. So we can mark it as L. So induced drag level. So there was an increase in lift. Okay, so the aircraft is pitched up. So there is an increase in lift. Okay, so in that case, the induced drag of increase in pitch moment. Okay, like say pitch increases. Okay, so it is not equal to each other. Instead of that, the increase in induced drag, right? Induced drag during pitch up will be greater than the induced drag during the level flight. Can you understand? Simply, we can say in the level flight there will be induced drag, right? Induced drag will produce the tip vortices will be formed. During pitch up, the induced drag will be higher than the level flight. Okay. So, in order to overcome that, right? In order to overcome that, what we have to do? We have to deflect the tail section, right? We have to deflect the tail section. So, if the tail section is deflected, then we can come back. Okay. So, the additional drag which was created with the induced drag, right? So, induced drag is there. Induced drag of the wing, which depends upon the LW, would be more than that of the when lift equals to weight. Okay, so this additional drag is called as trim drag. So there is an additional in level flight, induced drag is having some value. So when we are lifting up, the induced drag is increasing, right? So the additional induced drag, which was called as trim drag. Okay, as action of making MCG equal to 0 is referred to trimming the airplane. So when we are coming back to the original position, so that is called as trimming the airplane. Clear with that? So with this, I am ending today's session. So if you have doubt, you can ask me also. So once again, I would to say the lecture is taken from Gupta sir.